Our first guest tonight is nearing 3 decades behind the mic as the radio analyst for BYU basketball on BYU Radio, former player himself. He calls it like he sees it, which is why we love to have him on this show. Happy to welcome Mark Durrant back to the Wise Guys for another season. Can you believe we're back?
I can't, but it's exciting, and I always just like seeing you guys. I mean, I love you guys. You're awesome.
We love you too, brother. What do you think of our choice of Keba Keita for the Relight Athlete of the Week for us?
I'm probably the head of Keba's fan club. I just think, there's a lot of guys that are good players, but you want to be a player that when you're not on the floor, you can tell. Yeah. They're a different team. They're still good, but Keba makes a real difference. And you talk about his athleticism, his ability to block shots. He'll get, 2, 3, 4 blocks a game. He'll also alter 4 or 5 shots or hurry 4 or 5 shots just because he's around somewhere and you don't want to be getting your shot blocked. So, yeah, I mean, Keba does things I've never seen an athlete at BYU do, basketball player. And it's just super fun. Seems like it's just a great guy too. And anyway, yeah, I totally wholeheartedly agree with that. And
he had a night on the stream. My nephew Jason's on the stream from Eagle Mountain, taking us in. Welcome to the Wise Guys, as well as a couple more Floridians on the show. We're all over the world tonight listening to Mark Durrant.
Mark, we got where do we have for Mark tonight? We've got
a couple in Singapore, Japan, and, Panama. And,
so we're you're global
all for me.
You're global tonight.
You're
global.
Normally
tonight.
They wouldn't listen, but because I'm on.
That's why.
So you're on the radio call Friday night, right next to us as we were doing the TV call. You've had a few days to think about this exhibition game. How did you think it went against North Carolina?
It's crazy, Dave, that we're in this world. It's like crazy world. When I played some 30-odd years ago, we were lucky to get athletes in action for a preview game,
That's true.
And now we're got North Carolina in the Delta Center, and I know it's an exhibition, but I don't tell either one of those teams the other night that it was exhibition. You could tell it was a serious game and a great environment. And to play against a blue blood like North Carolina and see, you'd mentioned, obviously AJ and Caleb and so many good players. I mean, I remember thinking you almost have as many NBA players on this floor as you would on a regular night for the Jazz. There's going to be that many
exactly
NBA players from these two college teams. And so, yeah, it was great. And I think, it's an exhibition, but it's great to get the win, to give you some confidence. And also just the way these 2 exhibition games have gone, I think will be very helpful for BYU because they were both intense, great competition, and competitive to the last shot. And BYU's going to have a lot of those types of games. And so to have that experience before you are thrown into that environment, I think is going to be very beneficial.
Hey, Thomas, by the way, says head of the Mark Durrant fan club in Maryland.
Oh, nice.
So thanks, Thomas.
Wow.
He's the head of your club there. I don't know if you knew you had one there.
There's a strong chapter out there.
And in Tokyo, they have the international chapters in Tokyo, and they'll be piping in. You mentioned, like, when you played exhibitions or scrimmages, first of all, you would do scrimmages, and they were, like, double secret, like nobody knew about it. Even a couple years ago, I remember they scrimmaged over at Stanford, and everybody said, well, and there's secret scrimmage in Stanford, but we weren't allowed to talk about it, right? Do you like this idea that they're playing these exhibition games in an arena on national television, and do you wish you could have had that to warm up before it actually counted?
Yeah, I think it would have been helpful to get that experience. I don't know if I like it or not because it changes kind of the purpose of it. Coaches have more freedom because it doesn't count, but they want to win. And part of the reason you want to have a secret scrimmage is just different chemistry, different guys. Don't have to play AJ for 30 minutes. And
no fan judgment.
No fan judgment. And just kind of trying to still figure things out before you get there. But overall, I think it's probably for the best, just because of the reasons I've already mentioned, to have that caliber of competition in a game like not game-like, but intensity, pressure-like situation, I think is helpful.
When you see AJ in a BYU jersey, do you do a double take? Can you believe that a player of that caliber is here?
Yeah, because it's like looking in the mirror back from when I was a
That's
player.
exactly what I was thinking.
Similar
outside of your own
athleticism.
Yeah.
Again, it's bizarre world, but it's BYU's. I'm not going to say earned it, but the guys like me and the coaches for 50, 60, 70 years have worked hard to get BYU in a place where they can compete at the highest level and get those types of players. So it's really cool. I think Coach Young is certainly unique character and brings talent and skills and visibility and ability to get these types of players in there. And then the whole system, BYU's really invested in this. The NIL, the facilities, that can attract the very top level talent. And so whereas there was a time where it was unheard of, now it's reasonable that BYU would be in the conversation, at least for some of these really good players. And credit a guy like AJ for recognizing the opportunity he has at BYU, and if he can succeed, which I'm sure he will, it's going to open up the door for more guys like him in the future.
AJ and Richie are really the headliners. We were talking to Hubert Davis before the game to get ready to call the game, and North Carolina's head coach, and he talked about AJ, and then he said, and Richie Saunders, yeah, absolute NBA guy. And remember, Hubert spent a lot of years playing in the NBA, and he said, no, that guy's a bona fide NBA guy, the way he can shoot and defend and rebound and all that. So those two are going to get a lot of attention, both preseason, all Big 12. Who do you think the third and fourth and maybe even fifth guys that are maybe not surprise people that are going to be equally yoked with carrying this team?
Well, first of all, the best thing that ever happened to AJ is Richie. And the best thing that ever happened to Richie was AJ, because Richie coming back takes so much pressure off of AJ to win games and be the guy. And he will still win games and be the guy. But when you have a guy like Richie coming back, he's going to take a lot of attention. Rob Wright, who would be the first person I would mention, is going to take a lot of attention. He's their other best friends, like the three amigos, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you are worried about stopping AJ and Richie on the wings, good luck stopping Rob Wright on the dribble. I mean, how lightning – he looked like Blaine in the 7th Ward pickup games. I mean, he's lightning quick.
Until I got in fights, and then I got kicked out because Kyle Whittingham was egging me on as my teammate.
I've heard about some of the fights back in the day at the Smith Fieldhouse.
Yeah, Kyle Whittingham and Craig Garrick were my teammates on that. It was not good.
But Rob Wright is as quick as I've ever seen, and his ability to get off the dribble into the paint and collapse the defense is going to be invaluable to those Richie and AJ and Keba. He needs to make, from what I've seen early, he needs to make a little bit better decisions when he gets in the paint a little bit sometimes. But so those three guys, individually on their own are really great, like All-American great. But together, good. I mean, I don't know how you stop that. And then you throw in Keba, and I loved Kennard Davis. I thought he was terrific, and Boop is playing great. I was looking at some of the things from last year, and you almost forget about guys, right? Trevin Nell and Mawut Mag and Fousseyni Traore. Mm-hmm. I mean, those were really good players. But then you see some of these guys coming in, and you realize maybe we're even better with some of these guys coming in, and that's a huge compliment to these new guys. But you never know how they're going to work out. But so far, I think they've been very impressive as well.
BYU basketball radio analyst Mark Durrant is on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus, Eddie, and Mountain America Credit Union. Considering everything, is next Monday night's game against Villanova in Las Vegas on TNT the biggest opener in the history of BYU basketball?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have the rebellion encyclopedic knowledge, but I can't think of anything bigger for a first game. Some of these tournaments, maybe that we've had an opportunity to play in Maui and otherwise. But I think, that first game, I mean, again, we're talking North Carolina, we're talking Villanova. And part of the whole AJ thing is everybody wants a piece of that, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see it. TV networks want to put it on TV. So you've got an opportunity to play these games that you just wouldn't have had in the past, which elevates it into maybe the best opener ever. And,
now, I asked that because Blaine and I have called about 40 BYU Prairie View A&M openers.
Yeah, we've done a lot of openers in our life.
This one's different.
I'm a fan of the Prairie View A&Ms every once in a while because I'm getting too old. Even these exhibition games are stressing me out, man. I want to win by 50.
Don't worry, we all have Abilene Christian the next game.
There's some of those, but
we have that.
Not the start one. Not the start.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, they're going to have some. They're going to go to Boston and play UConn. They're going to play Clemson at MSG, and so I mean, and I think Coach Young's did a good job of capitalizing, getting really good teams for the preseason. It was probably a weaker preseason last year than should have been, him coming in, but now he's, that's the nature of things. Let's play some really good teams and see how we fare before we get to conference. So I think it sets up perfectly. You got a nice mix of the Prairie View A&Ms and the really good teams, and we'll see how BYU performs. They're going to be thrown into it right off the bat, into the fire. We'll see how they perform.
I hope out in the chat that we don't have anybody that's a Prairie View A&M grad because we've kind of been making fun of them.
Well, yeah, but that's because they're like an FCS coming in. That's how we do it.
We kind of picked up Prairie View A&M and made it bad.
I think they're picked to finish at the top of their conference this year.
They probably are. We're making fun of them.
Ryan's on the stream from Memphis, Weston in from Nebraska, Brad's in from Leander, Texas. Good to have you guys joining us here on the show as we visit with Mark Durrant, who did confirm this will be the biggest.
So question on this big game.
Yeah.
What are you looking for in this game that will give you an indication of how fast this team can come together and how good they can be?
Well, I think I've had my biggest question answered, and that was about AJ. Obviously, he was a Mr. Everything, top recruit, best ever recruit ever to come to BYU. But I still had to see for myself, because it's still going from high school to college. But I saw in the exhibition games, it's not going to. It'd be a hiccup for him. He's going to dominate at this level. He's going to dominate at the next level, and so that has eased my mind on that. The other question I had for this team was just about their defense, and I thought it was very poor against Nebraska. I think that starting five defense with Wright, Davis, AJ, who's an amazing defender, if he
and long
puts his,
and all that.
I mean, he's all over the floor and creating turnovers, creating havoc. Keba down low, guarding the rim, and Wright. I mean, that's really good defensive team. That second unit struggled. The 3-point shooting defense last year for BYU was really problematic. They did a better job against North Carolina. But what I guess in the rambling answer to your question. I want to see that second unit play a little bit better, and the team as a whole have a better defensive identity than they had last year. And I like scoring 100 points, but I don't like it when the other team scores 99. Mm-hmm. I mean, you need to be down in the 60s and 70s like North Carolina was. And I think with BYU's offensive talent, if you can find a way to play a little bit better defense, that's going to be hard to beat that team.
One thing that stood out to us, and certainly to me as we were calling the game, was here you got North Carolina and BYU on the same floor, and BYU has better players. And I just thought that was...
We talked about that at timeouts. I went, when did this ever happen?
Again, let me correct you. We played North Carolina in Charlotte when I played. It had me and Russ Larson, and going against Rasheed Wallace and Montross and those. So I think we could have made a strong case that we were.
That's the last time. That's been a lot of years.
It's been a lot
of years.
So having Carolina at the Delta Center, it got us thinking about Michael Jordan and that 1984 NBA draft. and it might be the best draft ever. And there's a family connection to the Durrants that we thought would bring up. So Hakeem Olajuwon goes number 1 to the Rockets, and he won some titles.
Yeah, like everybody can talk about how do you not draft Michael Jordan, but we concluded when we were talking about this that Hakeem was not a bad first pick.
Not a bad first pick
by the Rockets, right?
Sam Bowie to the Blazers.
Now that was a bad pick. That was a terrible pick.
And then Michael Jordan goes 3rd to the Bulls. Right behind him, his teammate Sam Perkins goes to the Mavericks. Then Charles Barkley goes 5th to the Sixers. John Stockton goes to the Jazz in the 16th pick. And then Indiana, with their 25th pick, takes your brother Devin. So Devin is part of the greatest NBA draft in history and one of the top 25 picks. And we thought, you know what? The family deserves a shout out for that. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. I take a lot of credit for Devin's success. And so Devin was, as everyone knows, just an amazing player. He led the country in scoring that year. And, I can't imagine a better draft than that one. That's pretty impressive. Probably would have been better off for him if he would have been a different year, so he could kind of moved up a little bit. But, he was so good. And, this is a chance. Talk about the greatest offensive players. I think Devin, in my view, of course, he's my brother, was probably the best. Then Jimmer came along. I thought, well, that's pretty close.
Yeah. Different way to score, though, right?
Yeah, different way, certainly. And the three-point shot was a bigger deal for Jimmer. And now I only mention that because this may be, with AJ coming in, we'll see how he does. But the thing about AJ is he can score from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah.
By himself. He doesn't need anyone else. He can shoot the three. That little NBA off the dribble pull up 15-footer. That's NBA, and he's already great at it. And then with the Euro steps and his strength and length, he takes a couple steps and gets to the rim. And he'll shoot 5 to 10 free throws a game because he draws contact, but he has a chance to be the greatest offensive player again. I hate doing this to the kid, to put all these expectations, but he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And it helps him that he has Rob Wright at point guard.
Rob Wright is, AJ is the most important, but Rob Wright was kind of out of the blue for me. And I remember watching him last year. He was phenomenal. And I remember thinking to myself, man, imagine if we had that guy on our team. And that we do. So, to try and stop AJ, Richie, and Rob Wright, good luck.
5 questions from Mark Durrant are presented by Strategy Square. Learn how Chantel can help your business grow at strategysquare.co. Tonight, Mark is going to reveal his top 5 teams in the Big 12. And we've heard the pundits for the last 8 months debating this over and over, and teams move ahead and move back. But tonight we thought we would get it right from the guy who knows. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think we do.
Feels like it. It feels right.
Like I don't know why he's looking like he's looking over like, who are we talking about? Mark, you're our guy. What are you talking about here?
All right. Well, I'm ready. I'm up for it.
So, okay, let's start with 5. Can you do it in reverse order? Do you have this in reverse order?
Yeah.
Okay. So your fifth best team in the Big 12. This is your preseason.
I guess this would be the most surprising of my pick. I'm going to go with Kansas.
Wow.
Just because this Darren Peterson is off the charts. I mean, he's right up there with AJ. Yeah. They're going to be battling for the best player type deal. And then I just think Coach Self is too good to have another mediocre season. Mm-hmm. And I think they'll right the ship with Peterson and will be in the conversation. So I'm going to go with Kansas at 5.
Okay.
Isn't this interesting? If we would have done this for the WCC, we would have said, give us the top 5. And here's the thing. We'd be going, well, this would be the 5th place team, and they're not good at all.
Santa Clara.
Yeah. And then 4th, they're terrible. And then
basically
3rd.
You got 3 teams.
There's going to be 3 teams, and they're going to get 2 in the NCAA tournament, 3 on a really good year, preseason for those 3 teams, but most of the time 2. And some years we were talking about 1. Now you're talking about Kansas is 5th place, which
this
means
is a Kansas
they're probably
team
going to be ranked and make the NCAA tournament.
that BYU beat by 40 something. I don't even remember what it was. So it's all
But the 5th place team in this league could be ranked and be in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
easily.
I mean, Kansas struggled in they were a 4 seed in the tournament, and I mean. So, yeah, these are all going to be top 4 seeds.
And I think they're 19 in the preseason AP.
Yeah. They're, and it's obviously not an outlandish pick to pick Kansas as 5th, but just because of what they've been through. But I think they're going to right the ship and will be certainly in the conversation.
Okay. Nice. Okay. How about 4?
So I just don't know enough about Arizona. I know a lot of people like them. Vasar, I thought, for playing for North Carolina, I thought that hurt them. But so I'm going to go with Iowa State, just because of their history and their program. I think that's probably a solid pick at 4.
So Arizona 4. Somebody on the
Iowa State at 4.
I'm going to put Arizona to 6.
Oh, you got Iowa State.
Yeah, Arizona's not on the list.
Okay, so one of the somebody on the stream said, I find myself wishing we had a guy like Vasar, and I'm like, yeah, who doesn't?
North Carolina doesn't.
Yeah, they got him. They got him for 2 years.
So Iowa State 4. Okay. And then who? How about for 3?
3, Texas Tech. I think with Toppin, again, this conference might have like the 3 best players in the country, maybe 4, with Toppin and his experience. And they, I think, almost made a Final Four last year, and with him back, I think they're number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a good choice.
And 2 and 1 is going to be interesting.
Yeah. So there's no one that has ever worn bluer glasses than me, right? But
But Houston's in this league.
My philosophy has always been, if you want to be number 1, you've got to take it, and you guys. So BYU's number. I'm going to put BYU as 2.
I agree with that,
because Houston, you got to take it from them. If you want to be 1 for me, and you go beat Houston,
right?
Maybe they will, but for now, I think Houston earns it, deserved it. Their national championship game had a lot of guys coming back. Great defensive player. So as much as I like BYU, who I think BYU has a legitimate shot to win the national championship. I mean, you talk about BYU having better players than North Carolina. Show me a team that they don't have better players than. At least you can make an argument that BYU has better players than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so why not? So with that said, they're number 2 for me because of what I said. Houston, number 1.
Well, they're number 2 in the AP, so a lot of people agree with you that Houston is the top team in the Big 12, and then they've got BYU at number 8. And in the preseason coaches poll, BYU is number 2 in the Big 12, which surprised me a little bit. I thought they might be at 3 or 4.
Yeah, I thought they'd make Texas Tech some love because of Toppin back.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I did the same thing for a different show, a radio show, and I had BYU 2 and Houston 1, and they asked me why, and I said, because both teams have great players, and Houston has more great players that are coming back. That's the only reason I give them the edge right now. But BYU may play their way into that experience, and by the end of the season, I think BYU actually might have more pure talent than Houston does. Houston's so physical.
Houston's just so good defensively, and the coach is just Sampson is amazing. And yeah, they've earned the right to be number 1.
Yep. That's it. How about that? Those 2 teams could be in the Final Four together. And that would be cool.
That would be cool. It's going to be some serious battles. Before we even get to the conference battles, you look at BYU, and there's Villanova, and then there's UConn back there at the TD Gardens in Boston, and then you've got Clemson in Madison Square Garden, and you've got Miami and Orlando, and Wisconsin is coming here to the Delta Center. Those are some major tests. Unlike, remember last year when Arizona State came on, I think it was New Year's Eve, and beat BYU, and it was kind of the shocker of BYU's not ready yet for conference play, even though they had a pretty soft pre-season schedule and a good record. Kevin Young went out to erase that. He wanted a tougher non-conference so that they knew what they had when Big 12 play started, which they will know after those 5 mega games, won't they?
Yeah. Well, I think they will know to a degree. as much as positive as I am about this team, and I think they can win a national championship, it's hard to get more positive about that. I've never said that in my life about a BYU team that I legitimately thought could do that. But they're going to have some bumps in the road. You got a new guy. AJ's going to have a couple down games. They're going to struggle. They're playing against great competition. I think they'll do well against all those teams. They could go undefeated. They might lose several of them. But I'm not so worried about this November, December. I want this team to kind of grow, figure it out, dominate the Big 12, and be at their best as a team for the NCAA tournament and make that deep run. So it's not going to be all roses, tiptoe through the tulips for this team. They're going to have to get better, learn each other, play hard, play better defense. But I think over the course of this season, I see this team doing great things.
6 months of it. And it starts for real on Monday.
Yeah.
It's like an NBA season.
He sounded just like
tired?
Doesn't Mark sound just like when we're talking to Kevin Young? You sound just like him.
Yeah, sounds just
and he said the same thing last year. We had a game after that Arizona State game. He's like, listen, guys, I care, but I don't really care where we are right now. I care where we are in March. And he said the same thing this year.
I love Kevin Young so much. He's such a good dude and has just done everything the right way. But I called that game the other night. We didn't even have a pregame, and I was beat. Man, I'm not in game shape, man.
Listen,
I'm not in game shape.
Get down to Vegas, get some rest. Don't go out to a show.
If you get sore,
just stay
come
focused.
over. You can come over and hot tub at our house. Whatever you want to do, like we get you ready.
Whoa, that'd be the ultimate evidence of my coolness to go to Blaine Fowler's hot tub.
So we go hot tub,
At least
and
for a night.
we go hot tub and we talk ball. That's what we do. After games, I get Gavin to come hot tub, and he tells me all the behind the scenes from football, and then we could do a basketball rehash in a hot tub.
Enjoy.
I'm not going to turn that down.
Enjoy your season with Greg as you guys plow through another one starting Monday on BYU Radio in Las Vegas against Villanova. Thank you so much for being here.
Good luck to you too as well. You do such a great job, and it's like TV, radio. Man, BYU fans are lucky.
Yeah,
we're all doing stuff. We're lucky to have you here. Thank you for being here.
And we love that you always make the effort to just get in and drive down here, which is really cool for us. We love it. Thank you.
Listen, I know you got to go, but I have this, what my dad would call a superior inferiority complex.
Yeah.
And I just don't think, I think I'm kind of a loser.
What?
And then I tell myself, I'm friends with Dave and Blaine. These guys actually like me, and they're the coolest people I know. So I must be pretty cool.
You are cool.
And now I'm going to Blaine's hot tub.
Yes,
so
you are.
Listen.
Okay, I'm going to call you about that.
Living the dream. Mark Durrant with us
Thanks,
here
Mark.
on the Wise Guys tonight.
Appreciate you, brother.